Today, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl 60 Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. The 2025 Seattle Seahawks didn't just win a title. They broke the fantasy football meta. Under Mike Macdonald and offensive coordinator Klint Kubiak, Seattle finished 14-3 with a top 5 offense that was as efficient as it was explosive. If you had a piece of this passing game, you were likely coasting through your fantasy playoffs. We saw a career resurrection from Sam Darnold, an Offensive Player of the Year campaign from Jaxon Smith-Njigba, and the surprising arrival of Kupp and Rashid Shaheed. Today, we're breaking down the Super Bowl champs, JSN takeover, the Shaheed trade deadline heist, and why Seattle is the #1 team to target in 2026. First, let's start with the legend, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. In 2025, Jason didn't just take the next step, he jumped over the whole building. 119 catches for nearly 1,800 yards. He led the league in receiving and was the unquestioned wide receiver 1 in fantasy. Feeding him the ball was none other than Sam Darnold, who had a comeback season of a lifetime. He's no longer seeing ghosts, and he had 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. Darnold was a high-floor QB1 all year, and he had a legendary supporting cast. Kupp, returning to his home state, was the ultimate veteran safety valve. While JSN was the alpha, Kupp managed 16 games as a high-end wide receiver 2, proving he still has plenty of juice in the tank. But the real midseason firework was the trade for Rashid Shaheed. When he arrived from New Orleans in Week 10, the offense reached another level. Shaheed brought a vertical threat that opened up the entire field for JSN and Kupp, but his real fantasy value, those 3 return touchdowns. If your league counts return yards or scores, Shaheed was a late season league winner. He gave this offense a boom potential that defenses simply couldn't handle, culminating in that massive 51-yard catch in the NFC Championship. Now, for the frustrating part. On the field, Seattle's run game was elite. In fantasy, though, it was a headache. Kenneth Walker was the yardage king, putting up over 1,000 yards and winning Super Bowl MVP. But Zack Charbonnet was the touchdown vulture, punching in 12 scores as the primary goal line option. This split usage capped the ceiling for both backs. You never knew if you were getting a 100-yard Walker day or a 2 TD Charbonnet day. Collectively, the running back room was the biggest fantasy bust. Not because they played poorly, but because the lack of a bell cow workload made weekly starts feel like a gamble. How does Seattle stay on top in 2026? Walker's workload. Charbonnet rehabbing an ACL tear from the playoffs. Kenneth Walker III has a chance to be a true bell cow early in 26. He is going to be an unrestricted free agent, so it will also be critical that they re-sign him. A full year of Shaheed. Imagine what Rashid Shaheed could do with a full offseason in Seattle. He's the ultimate deep threat sleeper. And Jason's Encore. Can he repeat an 1,800-yard season? Defenses will be doubling him every snap. Kupp and Shaheed will need to stay efficient to keep the pressure off. The 2025 Seahawks were a dream for the city of Seattle and a gift for fantasy managers. JSN, the unquestioned wide receiver 1, Sam Darnold, top tier QB1 value, sorry Vikings fans, and Shaheed, the special teams X factor. So, who are you taking first in your 2026 draft? The yardage king JSN or the Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker? Let me know in the comments below.